Hey YouTube, it's Kirkova and Little Ben here, once again riding shotgun. This is a video response to Jack, or Togetherforpeace's recent video, Atheist Perspective, about Christmas. Let me say first of all up front, Jack, you are a reasonable person. And you are generally a respectful person. But there is one sort of... Well, no, he is. He is. But you gotta put this in context. Here's the problem.
No.
He's just big on saying that lately. You sometimes respond to atheists as though we should be responding to Christians as if all Christians acted like you. And clearly that's not so. You know, when we talk about atheists coming out of the closet, or as you put it, letting atheism define them, you need to realize something. We are this is more than just a lack of belief, in that we are also an interest group. Are you aware that pretty much all the polling data available suggests that atheists are the most hated and least trusted minority in the United States? That, like homosexuals, for example, we have no chance, as things stand right now, of being elected to office in most districts, and certainly no chance of being elected to a position as large as senator, governor, or president. There's a real problem with this, you know, and we're trying to respond to that culturally. It's not like, oh, these people believe this stuff and we have to go ruin their fun. Now, there are a lot of people, Richard Dawkins and other anti-theists, who believe that it would be better if people did not believe in religious mythology. I don't consider myself an anti-theist, but I see their point of view, and it makes a certain kind of sense. They're not just mad at you when they're wanting to ruin your fun because you're having fun. They think it's harmful to believe things that aren't true. They think that it's harmful that there is this whole realm of thought that people don't ever question in their day-to-day lives. And that realm of thought is, of course, religion. But there's more to it than that, and this is something that a lot of atheists have a problem with, is that we're mistreated. We are. If you turn on the news, take MSNBC. Most Americans would generally regard this network as like an extremely liberal, left-leaning news organization. I was channel surfing the other day, and this was a few weeks ago. This is right around the time the Chilean mining disaster was still a fresh news item. And I was channel surfing, and I realized I had to get ready to leave, so I just kind of stopped on the station I was at and went off to do other things. And I happened to have landed on MSNBC, and it was like Kathy Lee and Hoda was the show. I had no idea who Hoda was until this aired, and in fact I still have no idea who Hoda is. And I didn't realize they were still letting Kathy Lee get in front of a camera, but whatever, I've got nothing against her. Apparently though, Hoda, I think it was Hoda, has something against me, because at one point in the context of discussing... I know, it hurt my feelings too. The Chilean mining disaster, she said there are no atheists in foxholes. Think about that, Jack. That's insulting to us. That's deeply insulting. That's saying that our beliefs about reality are insincere and can't possibly be sustained in any kind of disaster. That is a hurtful thing to say. That is a deeply offensive thing to say. The equivalent of which she would not have gotten away with, and probably would not have ever considered saying about any other group in the United States, in the world. Any religious group, any race, any political group, within reason. Certainly any type of spiritual belief or system, and certainly any race. She would not have been able to say that. She wouldn't have been able to say that about homosexuals. She wouldn't have been able to say that about Asians. There's nothing. There was no reaction on her part, on the part of MSNBC, on the part of the public as far as it could be seen. Now, you could see a reaction if you went looking for one, but no one took it seriously. No apologies from MSNBC, the most liberal, and I wrote a letter to them. Other people wrote a letter to them. I'm quite sure about that. No apologies, no acknowledgement. So they knew that what they said, that what was said was hurtful. They didn't care. That's the world we live in, Jack. We're not just here trying to ruin your fun. It's not like that at all. We are responding to something very real and very ugly that's part of our daily life. No, we're not being rounded up and shot. We're not in some totalitarian nation where we have to show our papers, and those papers have to say we're not atheist. I realize this, okay? And that's a good thing. This is something, this is a bonus for being in America. That's awesome. But it doesn't change the fact that within the standards of American society, we are about as reviled as you can get these days. The only reason that we aren't mistreated in public is the fact that you can't see atheism on someone. Just like a homosexual doesn't have to tell anyone they're a homosexual as they walk around in public. We don't have to tell anyone we're atheists. He found him a spoon. Didn't you, buddy? Yeah. But imagine if that weren't the case. Imagine if being an atheist made you look different. No, I'm not saying if the government made us all wear something equivalent to the yellow stars the Jews had to wear in Nazi Germany, because that might elicit pity nowadays. But imagine if, from time immemorial, being an atheist had just caused you to look different physically, and people could recognize you. Think about the things people say without even thinking, it's so reflexive and so and when they get letters about it, they're just like, oh, what a bunch of wackos to be offended by this. They don't take us seriously as people. No. I know. To a lot of them, we aren't people. As recently as George Bush Sr., the President of the United States, publicly stated, and I'm not going to try to quote it, but what I say is going to be damn close to the original, and it'll certainly capture the meaning. I don't know that atheists could be considered patriots, or no, I'm sorry. I don't know that atheists should be considered citizens, and certainly they are not patriots. This is one nation under God. Thanks for listening.